Welcome back, folks, to the APPEX 2024 live streams. This one being recorded on day 3, brought out to you live from the trade floor here at APPEX 2024. And like all the other live streams, this too is being brought to you by Burkert, where innovation meets inspiration. Whether it's optimizing processes, enhancing sustainability, or simply delving into the fascinating world of fluid dynamics, Burkert is your trusted partner every step of the way, and we thank them so much for helping to bring us these live streams. Lindy, Hughson, back in the host seat.
Yeah, I'm back. I've been running around the show floor doing other things, videos and whatnot, but I'm so excited to be here because last night at the APPMA Awards of Excellence, the highlight of the evening for me was the announcement of the Emerging Leader Award, and that went to Supriya Suhale, and we have her sitting in the other hot seat right now. Welcome, Supriya.
Thank you so much, Lindy.
So you must have been quite excited when the award was announced.
Yeah, it really was. I didn't hear the name proper because everybody were talking. The floor was really, really loud. And I heard it and I was shocked. And I looked at somebody and people just started clapping. And that's when I realized they'd made the announcement and I'd won it. And then after that, you saw what happened.
Yes. So one of the things you said to me in a comment was you've taken away so much more than the award from this journey. Tell me what you mean by that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, especially being on the panel, that's one of the biggest highlights, I'd say, because I got to meet some inspirational women. They're all in leadership roles. They have so much experience in the industry. They're all extraordinary. And they know what they're doing. They've all taken different paths, which shows that it's not linear growth. You don't have to have a certain pathway. You can choose different things, do multiple activities, and then end up there anyway. So I think that was really exciting. I think I met a few new mentors there. And outside of that, even at the show itself, it's been really exciting. It's been really fun. And a lot of team building activities. That's where it all began. Organizing ourselves, bringing the team together, thinking about how the booth's going to look like, and what we're going to exhibit, and how we're going to showcase our products and technology, and what we're going to say. So everything leading up to that has been an exciting process and a great learning experience. So, yeah.
So you would have been potentially quite surprised when you were nominated for the award by your colleagues at Beckhoff. But of course, your career has led you to this part. So tell us a little bit about what it is that you do and you're in your 9 years, which you shared with us. And by the way, for the listeners, the panel that Supriya was referring to was the Women in Processing and Packaging panel discussion that we had yesterday morning. And that was you made a really valuable contribution to that, Supriya. So to go back a step then, if you can tell us a bit about how you got to this point in your career.
Oh, wow. It's been incredible because I graduated overseas in instrumentation technology. And when I came to Australia, I had a decision to make on what path I'm going to take now, because I was a fresh graduate. I didn't have a lot of experience behind me. I didn't have network. So there were 2 things that I had to do. One was to effectively network with the right people so that I can be in the industry and start my career, and also figure out what it is that I really wanted to do. And so I was recommended that I did work placements. So I enrolled myself into this PLC course at RMIT. I did a couple of short courses just so that I can have local experience, find out what everybody's up to and what's happening in the Australian industry. And from there onwards, I applied for work placements and I was an intern. For about 10 months, really, because initially it was 12 months and I figured, 12 weeks. And I figured 12 weeks isn't a lot of experience for a fresh graduate. So I kept going. And after that, Beckhoff happened with me. And I started off in internal sales role, which was easier because when I was interning, I'd tried different things. I did technical support. I did internal sales. I'd worked under the product manager. And so I kind of had an idea of what was the pathway I was going to take from there onwards, because I knew what appealed to me, what didn't. And outside of having a technical degree and technical knowledge that comes with it, I also have a very creative mind, and I like to be creative in the job, in the tasks, in the projects that I take on. So I think project management, product management, it was very exciting for me because it allowed me to have a bit of creativity, some strategies relating to sales, but at the same time help me bring my technical knowledge into it. So yeah, I was an internal sales engineer, and I started taking on more roles. So I started taking on little activities, little tasks, started putting my hands up for things that would just come my way. And I wouldn't really limit myself to say, I'm an internal sales engineer, this is my job and someone else's problem. So eventually what happened was there was just so much I was doing, and my boss would describe me as a glue between different departments. So there was just a lot going on, and that title, it just wasn't working for me anymore. And then we had to sort of promote me into clients relations officer after that. And it was a lot of admin, but then I was also doing other things. I wanted to go back to my technical roots. I was already product specialist IO, learning about the products and then promoting the products and doing all these tasks, releasing the products, coming up with strategies to make announcements of, do sales, and then also share that knowledge internally with the team. And the next step from there was obvious to us that, I take that as a business unit and then take that further and focus a little bit more on the technical side, but also engage myself into product marketing, which is the exciting part of my job. So now I speak to more people in the media, do more white papers, articles, also along with all other tasks I was already doing. So
Yeah, wow. So what I'm hearing from all this, you've done a lot of steps there, but what you've done also is a lot of stepping up and making yourself available and not being afraid to take on new tasks and proving yourself as you went by just being a doer. So I think for many young women who may be listening or be thinking about how to advance their careers, what you've just described there is kind of inspirational. So thank you very much for sharing that part of it with us. The one other thing I do want to talk to you about, though, is in the citation for your award, they mentioned about you being a green ambassador. What does that involve?
Yeah. So I like this saying that says, what doesn't get measured doesn't get better. So we talk about sustainability in manufacturing in so many different ways, but we don't think about what happens once the product is out of the factory gate. So the factory has employed sustainable manufacturing practices, let's just assume, and then the product has left the gate. Now what happens? How do we convey this message to the end user? So where my role comes into play is Beckhoff has a lot of practices in play to enable sustainable manufacturing practices, but also we recycle our products. We have an initiative for that. And my role is to be part of that value chain, bring that message both to the team internally to pass on the knowledge of this, and also be part of that value chain in passing on that information to the customer, in measuring, in monitoring, in managing, in focusing on the efficiency of their machines.
Well, what do you think having won this award is going to do to elevate your career trajectory?
Well, it's given me such a massive platform. I mean, the number of people I've said thank you to since yesterday. I think without even having to look at someone, I can just go to them and say thank you now.
Yeah.
So, the platform has been absolutely massive. So I'm truly grateful to APPMA for coming up with this award and for offering this to me. And so now all our messaging, it will be elevated, and we can focus more on saying the same things, but to a larger audience, and also making that message better. So we can learn from it. We can make it better. I mean, we're always improvising based on what we hear, and I get to hear from more people. So that will enable for us to have more feedback and improve our own messaging and come up with newer strategies. And that's what I like to take away from it.
Well, congratulations once again, and thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thanks, Supriya. Thanks, Lindy. And of course, thanks to those who have tuned into this live stream that's being brought to you by Burkert, where innovation meets inspiration. Stay tuned to this channel. We'll be back in just a moment. But first, we've just got to end it up here, and probably in about another 5 or 10 minutes local time, if all goes well, we'll be back with another live stream. Stay tuned to this channel.